Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here at Build with you all. I'm 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗸𝗂. I'm a product manager on the Microsoft Entra team. Today, we are going to talk about something that is super fun and exciting, onboarding. Yay, everyone's excited. I know that many of you may have had to implement custom onboarding flows or do, user verification, things like that. Things that are not always easy out of the box, but today I'm going to walk you through how we've simplified that for you and help you stay focused on what you do best, which is building great software. So, we'll start with some common onboarding challenges, cover the problems that developers face, especially around user verifications, and quickly jump into practical solutions that you can implement right away. As a developer, onboarding often means building and managing complex identity verification workflows. Work that is, it's important nonetheless, but it's time-consuming, it is tricky, it takes you away from what you really want to be doing, which is building great software. The work is essential, and especially with impersonation risks, attacks on the rise, and having painful consequences and risks like billions of dollars in losses, making sure that the right people have the right access to the right resources at the right time becomes that much more critical. The challenge is balancing strong security with fast, seamless onboarding experiences, which is a task that often slows developers down and adds operational overhead. So manual processes like adding users, verifying roles, they're time-consuming and error-prone. Keeping track of who has access, ensuring compliance, providing audit trails, it all adds complexity. Plus, building secure identity verification flows into your systems from scratch is overwhelming. It can be overwhelming, and it takes away from core development work. So when your boss says, hey, Shri, go fix our onboarding flows, go make them more modernized, elevate our experiences, make sure it's secure, what can you say? No, that's not what you're going to say. Absolutely not. With the solution that I am about to show you, what the answer is more likely to be is, okay, well, are you ready for a demo tomorrow, boss? Yeah, what we've done here at Microsoft Entra is build the user verification piece for you, and that way you can leverage that in whatever custom flows your organization has today. Let's dive into the code. Awesome. So just a bit of background here. I have a Python project set up that is going to make some API calls, create some things in the Microsoft Entra portal. First, we're going to create what we call an access package, which is essentially just a collection of resources that would be useful for users when they onboard. So if a new designer is onboarding to a team, then you could imagine this access package contains like a SharePoint or a Teams for all the designers in your org, or maybe it has like access to Figma. And then for each access package, they have what's known as a policy. So the policy part is what gets a bit more interesting, where it has settings like, how long is the access going to be live for? So you can see here the duration in days is 365. It has properties where you can set the settings for who can request. In our example, we're going to say all connected organizations. And then approval settings. So for us, we're going to say that approval is not required because the users that request access to the package we set up are going to present what is known as a verified ID. And this ID, it is issued by trusted organizations. It lives in the user's wallet, and it has information about them that otherwise we would not have been able to easily obtain. So for the example, it's a first name, last name, their nationality, and their photo. And then you can see in the credential types, it is a true identity credential, and these are the claims that are on there. And here you have information on which issuers this credential is coming from. So in this case, it is the partner organization, Woodgrove. And then last thing in this is the custom extension handlers property. So this one basically, calls out to a custom extension that you can set up on your access package. So when you're going through a request flow at any stage, you can pause and then run a custom workflow to do, maybe a custom approval or whatever it is. Like In our example that I'm going to walk you through later, it's going to do a update on the user object using the information that is shared through the verified ID. Okay, so that's kind of some background. And then here I just have a bunch of boilerplate code that actually GitHub Copilot generated for me and put a wrapper around the graph APIs that I'm gonna be calling. We have a function here that's gonna create an access package using the tokens and stuff. Call this URL to create the package. We already defined the payload above. And then this other function is going to take the ID from the response and use that to create an assignment policy on that access package. Let us run through this and see. Okay, it's going to be, I'm going to say awesome demo access package. This is not, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I swear this works. Okay, terminal. Yes. Awesome demo access package is created successfully. Amazing. Let's switch over to the Microsoft Entra portal for a really quick second. I want to show you what that looks like just in our UI. This is, not, some of our customers might use it. Some of our customers might do things more programmatically, but at least for the purpose of the demo, we can take a look at, how the properties that we've defined and called these APIs reflect in our UX. So we'll go into the awesome demo access package, and then we'll take a look at the policy. And then we see here is the policy that we've defined earlier that is based on the user's verified ID. We'll go into the policy and edit. And then you can see that, the name is populated, the description is populated. In the request section, we see that it is configured for all connected organizations. It does not require approval, and then it does require verified IDs. So the credential type is the true identity credential type that we looked at in the properties, and then the issuer here is also what we saw earlier, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗏. Something that I didn't call out earlier that I want to really draw your attention to right now is this require face check. This is just a checkbox, and what this does is you can select the photo from the ID that the user has shared, and then when they're requesting access to this process, they're going to be prompted not only to share their ID, but also to perform a real-time selfie face check. So we'll look at what that actually is like for the end user in a moment, but just to give you a heads up of what to expect. And the last thing is the custom extension. So, we created this custom extension that is going to be triggered when the request is created. And then the extension is going to get details on the user's verified ID. And we're going to take that information and do something cool, like update their user object. Here I have the Logic app demo designer, so I can show you, kind of what that looks like. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. We have a low code, no code approach. And for each user that makes a request, we are going to, grab that user, grab the information, that are on their claims. And this could be something that maybe already is there, but in some cases it has information, the claims have information like the job title, which is not available through the out-of-the-box API when onboarding these B2B users. And then if we look at the code view, it's just a representation of what we see on the left side there. So we're just going to be calling this update user method with the information that we've grabbed from the user's verified ID. So with that said, let's take a look at how this all plays out for the end user. So here we have Diana from Woodgrove. She is in the My Access portal. This is where a lot of end users go to request access to things. So she's going to request an access package that we had set up earlier, not the one that we just did right now. And she is going to scan this QR code. You'll see on the right side, she has her phone and she's going into the Microsoft Authenticator app and she's going to scan this code. Her phone in the app is where the wallet is where her ID lives. So when she scans this code, she's prompted immediately to share the specific ID that the access package requires. And I'm just going to jump back a quick sec. So you see here, like, this is the ID that she is going to be sharing. And then there's also the face check component where, you know, it says here that it is required by the organization. So she has to complete a face check. And now she's doing the face check. This is all powered by Azure AI services. It's privacy compliant. You know, none of this information is like stored anywhere. Everything that's happening is local on Diana's device. And then, yeah, once she finishes the face check, she's able to submit her request. And this request can be automatically approved because we have a very high assurance that, you know, Diana from Woodgrove is the person that is requesting access to these resources. And then to tie into the Logic App's custom extensions flow, I want to look at, you know, the properties on Diana's object. Now you saw she had a photo. And then if we look at her job title, it is updated to be developer. Because previously, you know, if Diana from Woodgrove is requesting something, you're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to work on a project with Woodgrove. I know Diana works there because she has a Woodgrove domain email, but what does Diana actually do there? Is she like a marketer? Is she a salesperson? Is she a product manager? No, like, she has to be a developer for me to give her access to our like Kubernetes or whatever. I'm not going to give that access to just someone random. So that's just an example of, you know, how you can use that information when making decisions on how to grant access. And then switching back gears just a sec on how we tie all of this together. You know, basically, it's that instead of relying on manual approvals and back and forth access requests, users now get to go through a streamlined self-service flow using entitlement management and verified ID. Those are the products that we look through today. They scan a code, share a verified ID, complete a quick face check, and everything checks out, access is granted automatically. You don't have to sit around waiting to get access forever. This makes it really easy to enforce high assurance verification for especially sensitive roles and users that are coming in from external directories because you don't know who they are. And the really, really sweet spot for developers is that you don't have to add a ton of complexity to your code base. You don't have to do these operational tasks. It's something that we've built for you out of the box that you can plug and play as needed. And while government-issued credentials are on our roadmap, you can already use, you know, trusted attributes from verified issuers, like organizations that you work with, partners, suppliers, which reduces the risk and manual work that's involved, as well as custom development. So the results: stronger security, smoother onboarding, and fewer distractions for the dev team. Lots of customers are doing this already. So Centric is an example of that. They needed a way to better manage role permissions for users that have high-level permissions because their old process was manual, it was slow, it was error-prone. And with our integration, they've been able to significantly improve that process with automation, as well as these high assurance user verification flows. So now when a user goes to request an admin role at Centric, they have to provide their you know, admin verified ID, and then they're automatically approved to be an admin for a specific amount of time, and it's automatically removed after that time. So you don't have to manage, you know, removing that access as well. It's all handled for you. Much less hassle, way more secure. And we published a case study about it, which is in our collection if you want to read more into the details. Well, that's all I have for you today. Now that you've seen how super, super easy it is to get started, please get started. If your org doesn't already have a Microsoft Entra license, you can start a 90-day trial of the suite. We have plenty of resources on how to deploy, code samples. I know I use like GitHub boilerplate code generated by Copilot, but we have like actual code samples for other languages, so you can check that out as well. And then, yeah, if there's anything else, any other questions you guys have, feel free to find me. As I mentioned earlier, we have some cool stuff coming down the pipeline with the government ID-based verifications. So stay tuned for that. And then I think the only other thing I have to say is thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. come find me at the booth tomorrow. I'll be there in the morning. Come find me around conference, and I hope you guys have a great build.